found that out and called the nurse practitioner to tell the nurse practitioner that you cannot diagnose a child with schizophrenia, to review and the assessment and then check with the DSM-5 manual to see which one is the proper diagnosis. And she lost her mind and zapped out, yelled and screamed and cursed the man out. So the man went and told another nurse practitioner who is the clinical supervisor there, this is the situation. Please, can you look into that? And thinking that maybe they will listen to their colleague as peer-to-peer review. And then also the nurse practitioner cursed the supervisor that employed her out. That kind of unprofessionalism is new in our healthcare, where the collegial nature of medical practice that we see was not present in that particular example. I cursed that woman out so much that the supervisor called me. Say, you know about standards and regulations and all these things on top of your head, and I just want to make sure I didn't overstep. Was there anything wrong in trying to redirect? And then I said that you're on point. So, and this is very often happens with some people. And that is why we have studied it for years. And before I decided to say, this one is not a prophecy, it's a danger that is coming. And this one about the nursing is not a prophecy. But the one I said about people living as a result of other things, you know, now you have robots to dispense medications. In fact, in Johns Hopkins, you have specialists there that can sit on a computer with a joystick in their hand and remotely use a robot to take a heart from a human being in Germany or in London and then put and replace the heart. The doctor who is doing the operation is sitting down in Johns Hopkins lab. So we know that things are coming in the future. And with artificial intelligence, you may not even need any human being to give the diagnosis for these conditions, because they've tested a robot that is as good as the best doctor in a particular field. So, and that's why we are saying that one is the prophecy to beware of that danger. But the one I'm talking about, these nurse practitioners that they have made to be doctors and fill their head up as if they are doctors, and many of them has become even more arrogant and proud than the doctors themselves, with very bad manners, unwilling to learn, like in the example that I just gave. That's why we are calling on West more that those kind of authority and power, if first of all, the Attorney General should check and see if that is constitutional, because I don't believe it is constitutional. Compare that with the social workers, clinical professional counselors, LCPCs and LCSWC, and the rest of those in the clinical level. You will see the unconstitutional nature of it. Look at the board, their ethics standard. We're talking about professional standard. So, comma 1036 05 compared to comma 1042 and comma 1053 and these are all different professional standard, and as compared to that of comma 1027 when you look at, which is for the nurse practitioners, when you look at those particular standards, then you look at that each one of the rest of them must start in the graduate level, master's level, where they have to stay there in practice under the supervision of a clinical level, certified clinical level staff, until they obtain 5,000 hours of supervision before they are allowed independent practice. But in the case of nurse practitioners, they don't. They come out of master's level and go ahead and become independent. And that's a danger to our society, is a danger to our state. The social workers and the professional counselors who have been doing this for decades, and the mastery of all this stuff, the research and etc., and suddenly somebody comes out of a nursing home, passing out medication, take exam and pass, and then you give them a certificate without giving them a chance to learn. It's like throwing them out in the wolf, like to the wolves, like to the risk, knowing that the way people sue doctors, that these people are in danger, and this is nothing against the nurse practitioners, but is a warning and a caution to them that they are putting themselves in the risk. Assess the risk. The coma 1027 is not the same as coma 1036 and 1042 and 1058. They made a provision, a safety net to allow for learning and growth and practice in order to have a mastery of what they learned in college. College did not teach them anything about how to do diagnostic assessment or therapy. Nurse practitioners coming out without learning their practice, and of course they run away and run into prescription. What is the public interest? You don't run into prescription. You can't use medication to control human beings. If it's only the giving out the medication is fine, but they have to assess the risk and assess the clinical elements and factors before making those prescriptions, because they could be sued. They've started suing them now. When I started talking about this, nobody saw the risk. So it's a matter of risk analysis. So that's my message and my caution to all nurse practitioners to be careful. It's better for them to go first and learn what is the business they're coming to do in the behavioral health. If the person is a family nurse practitioner, it may be different because they have been doing in the medical field for quite some time. But yet, it is important for them, for the sake of equity in law, in the Constitution, that if the other people come out with a master's degree and have to gain 5,000 hours or 3,000 hours of experience, also nurse practitioners should have different levels like every other department to ensure equity and also to prepare them